Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are a tired parent or just trying to avoid becoming one, you are in the right place. Today we're going to dive into baby sleep routines and why setting one up can really help your baby sleep really well. A simple sleep routine can really change the game for your baby's sleep and for yours. But first, introductions. Hello, my name is Valerie. I blog at babywisemom.com. I have been blogging there since the year 2007, and I have 4 children who currently range in age from 12 to 19 years old. I love helping parents, love parenting, helping make your life easier. I want you to love being a parent and it to be as easy as it can be, because it's not easy, it's hard, but it can be easier. Babies really thrive on consistency, and the best way to help them to know that it's time to sleep is through a sleep routine that you consistently do each time it's time to sleep. Whether it's nap time or bedtime, a consistent set of actions will signal to your baby it is time for sleeping. When you're building a baby's sleep schedule, the routine is the rhythm that supports sleep. The beauty is it doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be magical. It just needs to be consistent. Just a few simple steps that are done the same way every time. First, let's talk about naps. Now, your nap routine can be exactly like your bedtime routine, or it can be a simpler version of your bedtime routine. Okay, so let's talk about naps. I really like to keep nap routines really simple and like low drama, because when it's time for a nap, I want the nap to be able to happen quickly. Also, like as your child gets older and becomes a toddler, toddlers are little pros at delay tactics. Like they can really master delaying sleep. So once you start that routine, they're going to start trying to find ways to like delay each step. So the fewer steps there are, the faster that toddler gets down to nap. Like your toddler is going to be like, oh, just one more song, or just one more hug, or one more story, like whatever it is you have going on, they're going to find ways, because they're very smart, which is great. But it sounds like a preemptive. We're going to make sure that your naps are happening on time and that it's simple and there's as few things as possible that you are able to try to delay. So just a simple nap routine. So like diaper change. You always want to have a diaper change before sleep, because you don't want a wet diaper to wake your baby up or your toddler. Like start each nap with a fresh diaper. If you have a baby who is swaddled, then you want to swaddle your baby. A lullaby is a great thing. Singing a song is great. You might do some cuddling, but if you do cuddling, especially, with the baby, they don't have this, they're not into delay tactics, but as you get closer into those toddler years, just really think about like with the cuddling, like maybe set a timer or something just so they can't always be like asking to delay it more and more. And the reason is because timing is still important for naps, even for toddlers. And so if your toddler talks you into extra 15 minutes of cuddling, which is like lovely, but that can push them to where like now they're not going to sleep because they're overly tired. So like if you want to have long cuddle sessions, just make sure you start the routine early enough that you can still get your toddler down for a nap in time. But you don't want to be in a situation where your toddler's like starting to cry because they just want to cuddle longer, and you're giving in because you don't want them to cry, and then they are up too long and they don't sleep well. So you just want to, be thoughtful about what your routine is and what that can lead to. And then part of the routine can be just simply setting the room up for sleep. So maybe you close the blinds, or maybe you turn on a sound machine. And there's different things that like help set the stage. Sometimes people wonder, like, do I need to even have a routine with a newborn? Yes, it's still a good idea with a newborn. I know not every, but most newborns tend to just fall asleep whenever, wherever. And so it doesn't seem like a sleep routine is very important, but it still is. So with a newborn, diaper. Diapers and always, as long as they're in diapers, diaper is a thing in your sleep routine. Swaddle, gas drops if you have a gassy newborn, or gripe water if needed. A soft little lullaby, and maybe some infant massage or some cuddle. And then of course, if you have not heard of the 4 S's sleep routine for sleep training, check that out. I have a blog post and I have a video, and it is a great way to get a newborn into sleep without having to cry it out, and they fall asleep on their own. And so they learn that skill of independent sleep, and you don't have to cry it out, and they learn as a newborn. So it's amazing. So what about for a baby? So this is a real life sleep routine I used with one of my daughters. So when she was 9 months old, this is what we did. I kept it very, very simple. So I'd give her a hug, and of course, backup, diaper change. So after the diaper change, give her a hug, give her a kiss. I would lay her in her crib. I would sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to her. Each one of my children had their own lullaby that I sang to them. So her song was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I would tell her I loved her. I would touch her nose with a kiss. So I would like kiss my fingers and then touch her nose. And that would be it. And she would smile every time when I would leave, and she'd go to sleep. So for your baby sleep routine, just keep what you had as a newborn, and then, adjust it as needed, as age appropriate. So for example, with the newborn, you swaddled your newborn, but at some point you're going to drop the swaddle, so that will no longer be part of your nap routine. And if your newborn used gas drops, like at some point they're not going to need gas drops anymore, and so that won't be part of your routine anymore. But you want to keep the love, keep the songs, keep the diaper change, always the diaper change. So what about toddlers? Toddlers can be a whole different game. So my oldest, 2.5 years old, like same sleep routine he'd had since he was a baby. And then guess what? Around 16 months old, he started to negotiate. He would negotiate everything he possibly could. So I had to start like setting limits, and so like cutting down story time. So instead of just reading until what seemed like a right time, it became a consistent, like we will read one story. And eventually even just, we're not reading at nap anymore. We'll read at other times in the day, and we still read at bedtime, but it's like we'd read during playtime, like during just normal awake time and before bedtime, but no longer before nap time, because it was increasingly becoming more and more of a struggle before nap because we wanted more story, and is delaying nap too much. So it was a hug, a kiss, get into bed, sing his special lullaby, and rub his back and tell him I loved him, and that we would play again after nap time. So it's important to note and realize and accept that wake times matter. Remember, the wake window matters. So make sure you're aware of how long your sleep routine is taking. And again, I've talked about it already in the video, but you don't want your sleep routine at any age to eat into baby's nap time or toddler's nap time, so the wake window suddenly extended beyond what was ideal before the nap. So for example, most newborns can only handle 30 to 45 minute wake window, and that includes feeding time. So your sleep routine has to be calculated into how long it takes to feed your baby, any kind of play, if there's really time at all, and into your sleep routine. It would be very ironic if your sleep routine is what prevented your child from sleeping well. So you don't want them overly tired before they even hit the crib because the sleep routine was too long. There are other perks to keeping your sleep routine short. One is if your child wakes up early from the nap, then one great way to deal with the early waking is to do an abbreviated sleep routine and put them back in their bed and tell them like it's still time to sleep. So, naps get interrupted often. It can be from teething, from illness, from sleep regression, from a dog barking. So many things can interrupt a nap. So if your sleep routine is short, then you can easily go in, do the sleep routine, and then put them back in bed. If your sleep routine is longer than that is reasonable for, then you can always do like an abbreviated sleep routine in that situation. But if it's short enough, then you can just do the whole thing and it's clear message, like it's still sleep time. Another benefit is if you have another child. So like if you have a toddler and then you have a newborn, if your toddler's sleep routine is short, it makes it so much easier in balancing the toddler baby schedule. If, babies have unpredictable sleep patterns because they have growth spurts and sleep regressions and all those things. And so even if you have the schedule set up perfectly, your baby can wake up early and then you need to put your toddler down. But if your toddler's sleep routine takes 20 minutes and your baby's crying in the next room, it's a very high stress situation. So if your toddler's sleep routine is like 5 minutes long instead, then it's, you very easily can do the sleep routine with your toddler and then attend to your baby. All right, next we're going to talk bedtime routine. You can absolutely do the exact same routine at bedtime as you did for nap time, but it is kind of nice to have something extra, something that just helps indicate like this is like the big sleep. This isn't just a nap. This is night. And it just helps differentiate where, little ones can't tell time. And so the big routine helps them know that. And that's especially helpful if you live somewhere where at certain times of year it's like bright outside at bedtime. And, so sometimes you can rely on the sun to help be a signal, but other times it's like where I live, it is still bright outside in the summer until between 9 and 10 p.m. And if they've got a 7:30 p.m. bedtime, then that bedtime routine just helps them know like, oh, this is the bedtime sleep. It's not just nap. So there are a lot of great ideas of things you can do to help to add to your bedtime routine. Some people like to do baths, or they'll do like a massage at bedtime, but not at naps. Some people change into pajamas. Most people change into pajamas for bedtime, but that's a good signal. Some people will change into pajamas for like all naps and bedtime. But if you just sleep naps in their day clothes and only say pajamas for bedtime, then that helps indicate like this is night sleep now. You can do like stories just at bedtime and not read it every single routine. You can also do like prayer. There are lots of little things you can add that don't have to take necessarily a lot of extra time, but it's an extra signal that this is bedtime. So you're probably wondering as you're setting up your sleep routine, like what are some good ideas? Like what makes a good sleep routine? So here's what you want. This is your checklist. You want it to be consistent. So sleep routine, consistent. So make sure whatever you do, it's something that can be done consistently. Make sure it covers the essentials, like for example, diaper change. So there are some things that like must happen before the sleep can happen. You want it to be something where your toddler feels calm and happy, which means you need to feel calm and happy. So everyone involved needs to be feeling calm and happy. Ideally, your sleep routine will work anywhere you are, whether you're at home, whether you're visiting grandma, anywhere you are, like have a routine that can be done in other places. This is more important if you know you're going to be someone who like is visiting other places during baby's nap. If you're like 99.9% of the time I am at home for nap, then you can have elements that are like, this is only here. Like this rocking chair is only at my house. And there won't be a rocking chair everywhere I go, but that's okay because I'm okay with those few naps being disrupted or skipped or harder. But if you know you're going to be out and about, as much as possible, try to keep routine elements that are able to be done anywhere you go. And then also you want it to fit your schedule and fit your family. So again, like if this is your youngest child and your older kids are totally cool with like waiting for you to be done with putting your baby down for the nap, like it could be a more complex nap routine. But if you know like you have a toddler and you're pregnant, like I need to simplify this routine so that when the baby comes it's simple. And then once you have a toddler and a baby, like I need both of these to be simple so that I can get either child down quickly and simply. So there you have it. A solid sleep routine does not have to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. It also needs to work for you, your family, your baby, just consistent and works. So stick with it, tweak it as they grow. The newborn routine does not have to be the same as it will be as a toddler. Like things can shift. You just don't want to be changing it like a couple times a week. With a sleep routine, sleep can become a lot less of a battle and just a lot simpler. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will answer. And thanks for watching and have a great day. If you like this video, make sure you like it and you subscribe to the channel so that you are notified of all future parenting content.